Hello and welcome to Beyond Logo, a special monthly capsule curated by country head Landor Associates Lulu Raghavan. Over the last 2 months, Lulu had taken us to the brand strategies of Cafe Coffee Day and Taj Hotel Resorts and Palaces. And for this week's Lulu takes us to the new brand promise of Mahindra Group, The Rise.
Purpose-driven brand building has become one of the hallmarks of the world's most successful brands. Companies as diverse as P&G and Dell are fully embracing the notion of brand purpose to take their brands to the next level and drive superior performance. It's not just making a promise that separates one brand from another, but having a defining purpose. Some experts would say it's not what you sell, but what you stand for. Companies that answer the question of why they exist, beyond making money of course, will be more successful in connecting with consumers and getting employees very excited about coming to work every day. Johnson & Johnson, for example, is in the business of alleviating pain and suffering. Disney's brand purpose is about keeping alive the magic of childhood. And Apple, the world's most valuable brand, believes that people with a passion can change the world for the better. Closer home, Mahindra is one of the first Indian MNCs to strongly embrace brand purpose and put it at the heart of its business strategy, making it the core guiding force of everything the company does. I met up with the top executives at Mahindra to understand their new brand purpose Rise and learn how it's driving and changing their business.
The Mahindra Group wants to change itself as its business expands. The $11 billion company now nurtures global ambitions like never before. It acquired 2 tractor companies in China, 3 other companies in Europe, and then of course the big SsangYong acquisition. With more than 5,000 foreign employees on its rolls and several more in the offing, the erstwhile brand promise of Indians are second to none became redundant, and a course correction was necessitated. And the answer came in the form of a new group identity, Rise.
Rise. It's a belief in the future, an opportunity, possibility, and hope.
An interesting word that Vice Chairman Anand Mahindra explains the group strategy and aspirations well.
This process actually began a long time ago, 13 years ago, when we first articulated a core purpose for the group. This is what gets people into work. What's the transcending goal in a particular company that makes people say, I want to work here?
This new identity also makes sense because the company today operates in 79 countries, a global marketplace and international employees. But 4 months after implementing the new focus, Landor's country manager Lulu Raghavan finds out just how the change has translated.
Why did you decide that the time was right to have a new powerful rallying cry?
Lulu, it's very interesting. If you look back at Mahindra's history, as you know, we were born in the year 1945, and the first few decades post India's independence, the growth of Mahindra very much mirrored the growth of India. In fact, we regard ourselves as a microcosm of India in many ways. Post liberalization, more so in the last decade, we saw an exponential growth of Mahindra's business, both the top line as well as the bottom line. This came as a result of growth of existing businesses, diversification into new areas, as well as an element of globalization. We had first devised a core purpose about 13 years ago, and that was built around Indians being second to none. And this core purpose was a peak which we had already climbed when it came to 2 or 3 years ago. Given the fact that we were globalizing, given the fact that about 10% of our employees are non-Indian, it didn't make sense any longer to say that Indians are second to none.
But the move had to be more than just a media splash. So how is each of the diverse companies within the group going about this? For Ramesh Iyer, Managing Director of Mahindra & Mahindra Financial Services, it was about creating a new business model in rural India.
Let's talk a little bit about your customers, mostly in rural India. Do you think they're going to start feeling that Mahindra is a much different company, is much more focused on me and my needs? How are you going to, what transformation will they feel from the fact that you're now much more focused around being a brand that rises?
See, we are not a bank, right? So when a customer looks at us not being a bank, right, they think we have only limited purpose. They think that we will only give them for a certain purpose. But when we express to them, no, we will take care of your financial needs, provided we understand what are all your requirements. We'll be willing to design a product that suits your cash flow. We'll be willing to give you a 4-year loan instead of a 2-year loan. We'll be willing to give you a 5-year loan instead of a 3-year loan. I think that change he will start feeling. When we start telling him that yes, we'll be willing to give you a loan for education of your children, I'm sure he's going to be excited when he hears this, because it's not available from one business house as all product. It was available probably from a bank. But some of the customers didn't believe that they probably were not credit worthy to borrow from a banking system maybe. Or they couldn't reach a bank and fulfill the needs of a loan requirement, and therefore they thought, no, I can't change. A small trader, he wants to expand his business, right? And if he can't get that credit support, he starts believing that this is my size. But when you try and tell him that we understand your business, but what you need really to grow it big is a credit support, and here is somebody who's willing to do that, it's first a disbelief. He thinks, is it true? I mean, let me give you another example of the housing loan. When we go and tell people we'll be willing to give you a housing loan, I'm sure the question that crosses their mind, is this another way of trying to grab my land?
Sell me more.
Yeah, because they think that they're going to give me land as a collateral, and they think if I default, will they take away my land? So I need to convince them that my ethical practices, my long standing in the market, the brand Mahindra that's so well known in the rural market that I operate, the last 15 years what I've done in this market, and therefore now I'm willing to do what you expect me to. I think that's the way the customer life is going to change.
So if it was about making a breakthrough in rural India for the finance arm, for the auto division, it was about disruptive innovation that wouldn't pull too hard at customers' purse strings, says Rajesh Jejurikar, the Chief Executive of Mahindra's automotive division.
Basically, our philosophy has been how do we give great aspirational value but at very good prices. And that's where the role of the internal organization comes in, because the internal organization then is working to deliver products which are aspirational one step up in relative term, but which are structured around very great cost focus and hence very affordable. So allowing people to move up in life while keeping affordability in mind. So going forward, obviously we will be taking this philosophy to the many new products that are coming. We've just launched a product called Genio, which is a pickup, and it's a substantially upgraded pickup which comes with power steering, car-like interiors. It's based on the Ingenio platform from which Xylo comes, and it is just priced 20,000 rupees more at little over 5 lakhs compared to the previous pickup that we have, with substantially upgraded technology, CRD engine, power steering and all car-like interiors. So that's a very recent launch that we've done, which is in fact nothing but the RISE philosophy.
Getting an identity for a slew of companies within the Mahindra fold is one thing, but how do you determine tangible benefits out of it? And equally important, how do you get employees to walk the talk? We'll find out after this short break.